Dear Chris, we heard you like hard games, so here you go. From Software. Weird, I don't know anyone called Software. Oh well. Oh. Okay then, so Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is a game in which you'll find yourself taking the role of a deadly shinobi, going about your normal everyday business. Running from rooftop to rooftop, stabbing people in the spine, using your grapple hand to swing from rooftop to rooftop. Normal shinobi things. With the element of stealth on your side, getting through all of these various enemies should be a complete and total cakewalk. Okay then, let's take another look at that letter. Oh no. So, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is actually a game by From Software, the same twisted minds that brought you Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and Steel Battalion. We don't talk about that one. This means that while you will be running around doing your shinobi thing, you'll also be getting your ass kicked all the time because the game is hard. Like really hard.
Sekiro sees you dashing around, death-blowing unsuspecting foes. Oof. From the shadows. Oh, from above. Yikes. And even from some shrubs. Ouch. But if you find yourself clashing blades, then Sekiro's more unique combat begins to shine forth. Unlike other From Software games, it's not as simple as swinging your sword until enemies die. Instead, it's all about posture. No, not that. Instead, as enemies swing their swords at you, you'll need to perfectly time your blocks and dodges in order to basically throw your foes off balance. When you do finally disrupt their posture enough, well...
Ugh. As far as combat goes though, that's pretty much it. It's an incredibly tight and fast experience of trying to predict the enemy's movements, and instead of just standing there with your block up, ready to eat their swing like so much cake, or ducking underneath it at the last second, instead you have to look the enemy dead in the eye as they're taking their big swing, screaming, and get ready to block at the very last possible moment so you can perfectly deflect their swing. Or die trying. Literally. Swing. Oh wait, no, what?
But what's to stop you from just standing in front of an enemy doing a little dance as you throttle the block button? Well, very little. It's an effective tactic. Sometimes too effective. However, enemies also have big red danger moves. What do I mean by big red danger moves? Well, the moves that have a big red danger sign on them. I assume that says danger. Unblockable moves that normally mess you up faster than you can say Assassin's Creed has already been beaten to the punch with a Japanese set assassin game. Although, these do each have their own way of dealing with them that often makes you feel exceptionally cool when you pull it off. Outside of combat though, you've also got your shinobi prosthetic, a versatile tool given to you when your arm fell off. A sword may have been involved. For the most part, you'll be using this to grapple to and fro like some kind of spider Batman, and it adds such a wonderful sense of verticality to the levels that things can go from tight corridors of a building to bounding over rooftops in moments, and it changes how you play each area, how you sneak around and murder relentlessly.
Sorry, that's meant to be killing ingeniously, at least according to the back of the box. Now, stealth in a From Software game is something that's well, incredibly unheard of. And it's not the most complex stealth system really going around. To be honest, you're just going to be sneaking through the bushes to stab someone, jumping onto a rooftop so you can then jump sword first down into someone else, and it's all you really need it to be. When you're stealthing around, there's nearly always a moment where things suddenly go awry, and it's just up to you to try and take out as many people as you can before that inevitable occurrence. Yeah, like that. The point is though that zipping around with your grapple hook and stalking through the grass trying to find your next prey is incredibly fun. Sure, it may not necessarily be the main focus of the game, that's dying over and over again, at least twice, but as you're ninjaing around, it feels so wonderful to explore these levels because of the maneuverability that you have. So you can just race around the rooftops and sprint through the levels to desperately try and find new pathways and all sorts of hidden secrets, and it is a delight to explore. All as you try and find deep, dark secrets in these large Japanese forts.
That's not to say it's not completely without any fantasy elements. What starts out as a simple tale of killing soldiers for your young lord slowly but surely begins to seep mystical elements that keep you massively engaged in the story, such as the main character's immortality and ability to rise from the dead to give those foes one more go. Or this big snake. It looks pretty cool.
Damn! Did I ever mention that I have a crippling fear of snakes? No? Great. Ah, I did it! Take that, you big dumb snake!
In some regards, Sekiro is a lot simpler than its Dark Souls and Bloodborne siblings. You no longer have to get lost down hundreds of menus to try and work out the best gear and the best stats to level up in order to make a good build. Instead, you just simply get stronger and healthier from defeating more bosses and mini-bosses. While this does somewhat limit how much you can customize your playthrough, it just leaves you with what the game wants to do, and it does it extremely well. Plus, you've got the various shinobi prosthetic tools that can add a surprisingly diverse number of abilities for more advanced players to dive into.
I totally get that Sekiro Shadows Die Twice isn't for everyone. There'll be a lot of people who will just bounce immediately off of those large, high difficulty walls. But at the same time, there'll be so many others who will stick with it and finally persevere until you realise that you've actually gotten good because you'll revisit old areas or a boss which has been giving you a hella grief and, well, totally boss it. You are the boss now. Where previous Souls games was always felt kind of slow and pondering and a little bit clunky in literally every aspect of the game, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice feels like an incredibly fresh breath of fresh air to these sort of games, as you have so much more maneuverability and speed to everything. The combat is fast but incredibly tight, and when you pull it off, you begin to feel like a true master of the blade. Not to mention that it is a From Software game that actually has an accessible story that is both incredibly engaging and gripping, but interesting and intriguing. It's told through these grand cutscenes between boss fights, or item descriptions here, there and thither, or even just environmental storytelling, like this guy feeding dogs. What's all this about? It's adorable. I'm gonna kill it now. You know what they say, the pen is mightier than the sword. It's a Sekiro pen. Dear Sekiro, please stop killing me. Lots of love, me. Okay then. Hello and thank you for watching my video. If you liked it, feel free to let me know or leave a like or whatever. You know, if you have thoughts about Sekiro Shadows Die Twice and other From Software games, why don't you talk about it in the comment section, because that's what it's meant to be for. Otherwise, if you want, you can check out some of my other videos, such as this one about Final Fantasy villains and which ones were actually good. It took a lot of work. Please watch it. Please. Or this one down here, which is something else, probably Devil May Cry 5. Remember that game? Otherwise, you can click on my face where there is a face orb, which will allow you to subscribe if you're feeling up to it. Anyway, thank you and goodbye.